As you go through life, at least as I do, I judge people day by day, their actions day by day. If they're good people, then I tend to be good friends with them. I just enjoy people who keep good company and are solid at heart. And many of my close friends are here today, and of course family as well. And Mark certainly has been a good person all his life. We knew he was a good person when he was just a wee little one. The three brothers, Barry, David, who are seated at table 11, and myself, would argue a few times, as you might imagine 4 brothers would do. Mark always seemed to be the nice one in the back. If the question was, where do you want to go to dinner? You got 3 quick answers, as loud as could be, and Mark said, wherever you want to go is fine. It's true, he always would. We'd argue and he would acquiesce. And he was always smiling. The memories I have of Mark, the youngest memories I have, are of him smiling. Even when he was about 5 or 6 and we stuffed him in the dryer, went in the low for 64 minutes and came out a little frizzy, but he was smiling. And he was a good kid. He was a good smiling kid, and it laid the foundation, I think, for who he has become today. When he got a little older, in maybe high school or college, his teenage years and beyond, I think is when he turned from being a good person, which is certainly an accomplishment, to really being a great person. His care for others, be they strangers or friends or family, many people care for others. He cares with such dedication and, an adjective I'm trying to think of. He cares. Whether it's philanthropy activities in high school, we were involved in AZA, Jewish Youth Organization, the B'nai Youth Organization, of which many friends have made it to the wedding, so you can see the friendships are strong. And one of the things we would do would be philanthropy activities. And for most 17-year-old boys, philanthropy, is kick a piece of pizza or something. And for Mark, it was, clearly that was ad-lib, not written down before. For Mark, philanthropy would be getting involved, going to a cemetery and cleaning tombstones on your hands and knees, really digging in and, no pun intended, getting involved. It wasn't enough to give money. So we write a check from the organization for $40. It wasn't enough. It was, let's go to the organization and spend time there. And his care for others has always shined through, and I think when he was high school and college, it really came to a front. Even at the wedding, where he and Sarah are collecting clothes for the needy, and not only clothes, but nice clothes. And once again, it's going a little bit above and beyond what the normal good people do. Also in high school and college, to me, someone who's great doesn't sell themselves short in any of their talents. And Mark proved how intelligent he is. I spent a bunch of nights over at Columbia University with him, and it always amazed me. Of course, I was there to go and have a good time and drink milk and stuff. And Mark, even after a night of fun, Mark would be so concerned with getting his work done, and would stay up all night. And I'm crashing on the floor, and he's dedicated to getting his schoolwork accomplished. And he doesn't sell himself short in that manner. And if they say it's a 10-page paper necessary, he would have written a 15-page paper necessary. And I think those things just kind of separated him. And of course, we're in Washington, D.C., and who could forget his performance as quarterback of the Redskins in 1988 in the Super Bowl. Oh, that was Doug Williams. But he separated himself to being a great person, I think. Seeing him this weekend and seeing him today, I try to think of who is more giving and who is more kind and who is more caring and who is more principled and who is a stronger person. And I think that Mark is the best person that I know in the world. And of course, what makes tonight even more special is that he is now uniting with his equal. Every adjective that describes Mark certainly describes Sarah, and the joining of these two is beyond words. I thought this was funny when I wrote it. She's the Wonder Woman to his Green Lantern. He's the Donnie to her Marie, the vegetarian lasagna to his portobello mushroom. So, before I flip pages, I just want to say once again how I'm truly filled. I was up last night trying to finish the speech and put on the finishing touches, and I'm just filled with joy and honor and pride to be here celebrating with you, and especially that I look down the road and I see my kids enjoying time with your kids, and it's going to be a pleasure for me to watch them hang out with your kids, who I know will be wonderful. And I therefore propose a toast to the past, which brought you together, to the present, to tonight, which unites our friends and family in your honor, and to the future, with more memories and all the happiness and joy and love in the world. L'chaim, I love you. Hug time. And now I'd like to introduce, go ahead, it's your turn, Miriam Benor, the sister of the bride.
I wrote this toast a little while ago, and I was thinking tonight that I really can't express myself the way that I want to, because I just there aren't any words. I just feel so much love for both of you. But I'll go ahead and read my toast. Sarah, all my life you've been telling me not to follow in your footsteps. I did theater, it's academic, Columbia, Yiddish, by accident. I absolutely have not listened to you. But there is one thing that I will actively try to follow you in. It's finding someone as wonderful as Mark is, who makes you so happy and makes everyone around him so happy. The first time that I met Mark, I think, I don't know if you remember this, it was maybe not the first time, but I was at Sarah's school for her graduation, and she was having a little party in her suite, and I didn't know anyone, and I was feeling very uncomfortable and lonely. I was still in high school, and Mark came over to talk to me pretty much as soon as he walked in the door, despite the room full of his friends and Sarah's friends. And he spent a long time trying to get to know me, and that's the first time that I really realized how special he was. And he just made me so happy right then. And Sarah is pretty special too, as you all know. She is one of my best friends in the whole world, and just the greatest sister. And when I was born, she gave me a crown of tin foil, so I would be a queen. And tonight, I'm here in my crown with someone who makes her feel like a queen, and it just makes me I didn't cry at all before this. When, at every momentous occasion in my life, Sarah would write me a letter of advice and support. And when I was about to enter high school and Sarah had just graduated, she wrote me a letter. And she had a little piece of advice on life. Her book was not quite done, but she wanted to share. And she said, "We should make the best of it for ourselves and for others by enjoying whatever we do and helping others do the same. Be optimistic and idealistic and enthusiastic and find others who are the same, happy about life." I think those words perfectly sum up you and Mark and the way that you make everyone around you feel. Just so happy, and I love you both.
We now like to call up the uncle of the bride, Dan Benor. Dr. Dan, where are you? There you are. Hey, we'll sit.
It's just a joy to be here with you, and it's always been a joy to be able to visit. I've been something of a distant uncle, distant geographically because I lived for some 6 years in Israel. And my first real getting to know Sarah was when the family came and visited. And I have a lovely memory of Sarah's precociousness. At age 2, the family holiday was scheduled for a week in Israel and a week in Yugoslavia. And Sarah had never been on a bus. And the family prepared her for going on a bus. And we were walking around in Jerusalem, and Sarah fell asleep. She was a little heavy to carry all the way home, and so we got on a bus. And lo and behold, she wakes up on the bus and she looks around and she says, in her 2-year-old voice, "Are we in Yugoslavia?" And it's been a pleasure, Sarah, knowing you and knowing that despite all your brilliance in your intellectual capacities, you haven't neglected your heart. And it's just wonderful being a part of this celebration and feeling the warmth of your heart. And Mark, yours just shines wonderfully. When we say l'chaim, we're wishing a good life. And I think we tend to throw off that line very quickly. And so I wish you a wonderful life together, and to the family too. All the families. L'chaim.
L'chaim.
And up next, Roberta Benor, mother of the bride.
Think back to March 2nd, 1975. It was Ruthie Bunin's birthday, and she had just given birth to her 4th son, Mark Jeffrey. They delighted at their blonde bundle and the fact that he was born on his mom's birthday. Now think ahead 2 months. Mark is just beginning to smile and turn over. Perhaps he was sensing that in the other Washington, D.C. that is, his future wife was being born. Sarah entered the world on May 8, 1975, exactly on her father's birthday. Sarah's parents were also delighted over their blonde bundle and the coincidence of sharing the same birthday. Now fast forward almost 20 years, when on a certain day, these 2 children found themselves in the laundry room at Columbia College. There they met, began a conversation, and have not stopped talking yet. During this engagement and wedding time, there has been talk of gifts. But I want to talk about 2 special gifts that are meaningful to me. Throughout my life, my father, Henry Schultz, would say, the greatest gift a father can give his children is to love their mother. He certainly did that. The example Estelle and Henry have shown in their marriage has been an inspiration for us all. The second special gift was one given to me by David. It is the metal sculpture that hangs in our foyer, the Hebrew calligraphy of the first word of the prayer, Yevarechecha. May you be blessed. We have indeed been blessed in so many ways, especially in this wedding of these 2 people. I thank you both for making this possible. I thank all our relatives and friends who came from near and far, especially those from Washington State and Oregon and California. I thank my parents for setting the example of a loving family, and David's parents for setting the example of reaching for one's dreams. I thank Ruthie and Alan Bunin for their generosity and kindness and for sharing family, especially Mark, with us. I thank Mark for loving Sarah. I thank Sarah for loving Mark. And I thank David for making my life so wonderful. Mazel tov in l'chaim.
Next is a man who not only needs no introduction, is already here. What a surprise. My father, the ham, Dr. Allen here.
Marcus asked me to sing a little song. And so I had to think, well, what should I sing? And I thought, well, first of all, it ought to be kind of appropriate lyrics for love, romance, or marriage. So that eliminates 99% of all the songs. And then I thought, how can I personalize it? So for Sarah, it needs to be in a foreign language. Okay, so this is in a foreign language. For Mark's a Bunin, so as long as it's different, it will be good. For my wife, Ruthie, it should be from a Broadway musical of the 40s and 50s. For everyone else, it should be very short. And for those on stage, it's in the key of C. Dites-moi pourquoi la vie est belle. Dites-moi pourquoi la vie est gaie. Dites-moi pourquoi, chère mademoiselle, est-ce que parce que vous m'aimez?
Wow. I didn't know you could sing. Gee. I believe up next is my beautiful mother mom, also known as Bunin. To you. Come on up, Mom.
First of all, I want to ask you all to join me in thanking the Benors for this beautiful wedding. We have been so thrilled to be able to join this family. For Mark to have found Sarah, who is part of a wonderful, fabulous family.
Both families have just melded wonderfully, and we look forward to many happy occasions, wonderful years together. I want to thank my friends
and my relatives our way to all be here with us today. I want to thank the Benor's friends and relatives for being so warm and welcoming and making us feel so very comfortable here when we were here in March and this weekend. This is all wonderful. It's just almost overwhelming.
These kids are fabulous. As Roberta mentioned, we felt once we first found out that the union was shared. When we knew Mark, born on my birthday, met Sarah, born on her father's birthday.
That was great. When we found out that Sarah's maternal grandmother was Estelle, and my mother's name was Estelle, it was just one more thing to seal this. This has just been lovely. Thank you all for being with us. Many wonderful years of happiness together for the both of you. I love you both so much.
Now I'm crying. Now we'd like to call up the father of the bride. What am I doing here? David Benor.
Some coherent remarks prepared, but they're gone. They're gone because it's just been such an emotional evening for me, and I just want to share a few of my feelings rather than prepared remarks. First of all, the continuity of this ceremony is remarkable, and we have many generations represented here. We have people here who were at the weddings of your grandparents, here who were at the weddings of your parents, and God willing, we'll be at the weddings of your children. When Sarah was born, we called her our golden angel because that was the first impression she gave as soon as we saw her after birth. And Mark Popovsky, in his little remark at the men's tish tonight, said there's a wonderful blessing. May you be blessed with angels. And I think, Mark, you've been blessed with our golden angel, and I'm convinced that Sarah's been blessed with an angel of equal value. So we wish you both the best together. I had other thoughts, but just wanted to share one more, really. The emotion of watching you two get married and exchanging vows was really overwhelming, and as parents we feel love. We feel just an overwhelming sense of happiness in watching your faces, which is something most of you couldn't see. Being under the chuppah has its advantages. Watching their faces was really special. And listening to the parents giving toasts is also wonderful, and the brothers and the sisters, and you can feel the real love from both families, and it's genuine. But what impressed me most and what made me cry under the chuppah was watching your friends give you blessings, because they don't have to love you. They love you for what you are, not who you are. Well, maybe they can't help themselves, but they don't have to love you the way family does, and they do. And that's really a testament to both of you. You're special people. Your lives together will be wonderful. And we wish you much mazel and happiness. And let me conclude with one thought that is probably the most significant. When a child is born, there's a blessing. May you be blessed to raise your child with Torah and bring them to the chuppah. And today was the fulfillment of that blessing for your parents, both sets. And so we just love you and cherish you and wish you the best of life together.
I get a lot of hugs out of this. And finally, last but not least, we'd like to have the bride and groom give some words. Sarah, first, of course.
Actually, Mark first.
And then Sarah. We have a few things to say. First, we want to thank everyone who came all the way out here from near or far to share with us today. We know a lot of people, it's quite a sacrifice to come out here, and it really says something to us about our family of friends and relatives. And we feel so loved just because knowing how much people care to come and enjoy this with us. And so thank you. And
I just want to share some happiness with you. When I first realized that Mark was the one for me, that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with him, I was so ecstatic. I wanted to share it with everybody, and I wanted to have a big party with lots of music and flowers and a beautiful dress and a tiara, and now that dream is finally a reality, and I just want to thank everyone for making that happen. It's really perfect. Thank you.
And while we're on the subject of thanks, we also want to thank everyone for participating by sharing and adding to our joy today. And we want to thank everyone who brought something to donate today. We think that's extremely nice of you all, and we're moved by how everyone wanted to help make our simcha also shared by as many people as possible. And next page. And we wanted to thank the groomsmen and the bridesmaids and all of the friends who are in the Shabbat Brachot, and a few people who weren't in the wedding program but did something special. I want to thank Arik Bomstik and Mike Klarfeld for helping get the clothes at the beginning of the wedding. And I want to thank Ann Bass for all the work she's done to make sure that the flowers will be donated after the wedding to a women's shelter. That women's shelter, excuse me. And I wanted to thank Sandy Elson for helping out with the Ufruf, and Sarah's grandparents, Henry and Estelle, for the family brunch today. And I'll hand the mic over to Sarah.
And we'd like to just take a moment to remember those who aren't with us today to celebrate this. Mark's mom's mother, Estelle Matt, and Mark's dad's mom, Betty Bunin, Mark's dad's dad, Simon Bunin, my dad's parents, Ethel Benor and Yehuda Leah Benor, and our relatives, Irv Liebau and Merv Hyman.
And the last thing I wanted to say